ClassHorrorCast. We'll make sure you're not bored to death, but all your friends have disappeared, and you're the last one left. If you want to live, I suggest not doing drugs and having sex. Run through the forest grasping for breath, as you're chased by a maniac wearing a mask of flesh, tripping over dead friends. This isn't over until you get revenge. Final girls try to survive in a violent world. It's eye for an eye. Hide behind doors, lying underneath beds, trying to bide your time and find your strength, and figure out how much time it takes to escape before it's too late, or come face to face with a grim fate. Welcome to ClassHorrorCast. Let's see how long you last as you torture to death. So come join your host Darren and Tomcat as we bring you a podcast that will leave you laughing in a body bag or a bloodbath. Welcome to ClassHorrorCast. Let's see how long you last.
Hello everyone, welcome back to ClassHorrorCast. I am joined as always by my little spooky Canadian co-host Thomas.
What is going on?
Thomas is in a section of Silent Hill still that has like a weird echo chamber. It's strange. He's like in Pyramid Head's fucking dungeon or something.
I've been slacking on creating the studio, so I was like, we still have to get a carpet and paint the floor and do all the sorts of things. So I am in a big opened room. It's I got my workout equipment in my ripped out kitchen, and then we're like in a big living room kind of thing.
And carpet is really going to help dull down some of that echo.
It's not gonna. I'm gonna be in a room again. I'm in a massive chamber right now. I'm in a living room essentially. There's nothing in here yet. Except for like some baby shit. So
carpet is really gonna help though, like dull down that like echo sound.
I'm gonna get some like shag carpet like I'm in the 1960s. That's all nice. Trippy. I'm just gonna lay in it and roll on it, and I'll just record with the microphone beside my head.
You should get like a water bed in the corner, like a love heart shaped water bed.
Oh, I would love a water bed.
And have like a mirror ceiling.
Yes. And then so when you come over, right? Because like it's gonna be essentially a spare.
That's quite scary. Welcome back, everybody. This episode we are talking about something I'm actually really excited to talk about. So people can probably tell sometimes when both of us are like more excited about something, and then I go like super like I have become like a encyclopedia of Silent Hill knowledge in the last 2 weeks. Like it's been scary. I've listened to probably every video, every podcast, every behind the scenes, every interview. I've read every piece of literature I could find. So yeah, we're talking about the first Silent Hill movie, video game adaptation, whatever you want to call it. Directed by Christophe Gans and written by Roger Avery, who we'll get into in a minute. It's the first installment in the Silent Hill film series. It stars people like Sean Bean, Laurie Holden, who was in The Walking Dead, Kim Coates he played Tig in Sons of Anarchy. And you have some others in there. So the story sees a mother who, after her daughter mentions Silent Hill while sleepwalking, and goes missing upon entering the town, uncovers dark secrets within the place, and survives dangerous forces while searching for her child. That's like the worst synopsis I think I've ever heard.
Yeah. It's not great.
Let me see if there's a better one. Rose da Silva takes her adopted daughter Sharon to the town of Silent Hill in an attempt to cure her of her ailment. After a violent car crash, Sharon disappears, and Rose begins a horrific journey to get her back.
Yeah, honestly, I was excited to talk about this. This movie was filmed in a city that I grew up in,
which is wild, essentially,
right? And it's because I remember at the time when this was being filmed too, and it's quite wild that they use the location. We should bring it up at some point. Yeah, Brantford, Ontario, bro. I drive down there all the time.
That's crazy,
Street, man. Yeah. It was a pretty violent city, actually. Surprisingly, people may not know this, but in like the early in the 90s, it was more dangerous than Chicago per capita, if people know what that actually means. And essentially, just because the amount of crime that was going on and how small the city was, comparable to the size of a bigger city with the same amount of people all over, right? So it's a weird place, dude. There was at one point, it was very abandoned. There's many abandoned buildings. It used to be the center of there was a good mall there. People would go there, especially in the 70s and 80s. And then obviously, yes, the 90s, everything started to decline, but and it was this great mall, great place. And then it started to decline and all these shops foreclosed. I don't know the whole details of why. And they would put me on camera. They would have fake, they would paint the walls. So it was so abandoned, especially downtown in certain places. We used to go to a punk show down there at the Ford plant, they called it. And this is when I was really young too. I probably shouldn't have went to there because I probably could have got stabbed at as a 14-year-old. But it was just there was a lot of not nice things going on, a lot of crackheads. Now because of colleges and stuff, it's able to in university bring Asians and just people from other countries to come and enjoy the town, but they would paint figures on the wall. It was the weirdest thing, dude. You spell it right? Put shadow people. I don't even know.
Is that right? Is that the place?
Brantford. Yeah. So I wonder if they had, I don't know if they had the images, but literally they paint like saxophone players and girls dancing, but they're all silhouette just in black, painted all across downtown. Because all the businesses are closed, they're we're going to just paint some people dancing, silhouettes of people dancing. This won't make it look like.
I know this is probably a dumb question because it was so long ago, but
it's changed a lot.
This was filmed in probably 2005, so that would have made you what age? What age?
The universities came in.
What age would you have been in 2005?
I was 14.
Do you have any recollection of any of that? No.
Oh yeah, I remember them closing it down and stuff like that because I grew up outside of this place, but we'd go there. And I remember it being closed downtown and then hearing about it because I played the game, of course, I was into that or whatever, PlayStation 1, and I remember the streets being closed down and people were excited about it. And they've filmed other stuff there too, Handmaid's Tale, whatever. Yeah. There's tons of stuff filmed there and it's because it's cheap probably. And it brings the city money but it is cheap and it looks like a rundown city.
I was looking at it where they were talking about why that location. Obviously, they said it looked the part as well, but what also helped the decision was the sections of the town that they wanted, or city they wanted to use, were in such disrepair that they actually didn't really have to do much to make it look abandoned.
Yes, yeah, it was that bad, especially at that time. And like I said, the universities have helped to some extent now, but it's still sketchy down there. There's a Tim Hortons that people know not to go to because that's the crackhead Tim Hortons, and they just hang around there all day long. It's what it is. I would never go into that Tim Hortons. I don't even know how the Tim Hortons is making money. I have no idea because it's just surrounded by crackheads. You would be I'm not going to get my coffee there. I'm fine.
Is this?
It's a rough place.
Recognize that? No, somebody said I read online it's near the train station. That staircase.
Oh yeah, interesting. Yeah, I know where that is. Some sketchy.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing or whatever.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, they just tore that down. Cuba fades. That's it right now. That's still there. They just tore that down. There's a building next to it, and they just tore that down recently in the last couple of years. So that's a brand new picture. It's a weird place, man. It's just sad because you see these places that my ancestors built, and then it's turned to this, where it's it's just drugs and crime and stuff. It's what happened? Fun stuff.
Welcome to the modern world.
Welcome to Silent Hill.
Yeah,
this place is spooky.
It's great.
Do you want to know about the town? The town
sure.
that okay, so it's called I don't know how if you got Satiro. I'm not going to pronounce this right.
Oh, I looked this up. Centralia or something like that.
Centralia, yeah.
Something like that.
In Centralia, people noticed it was seeping from the ground in places it shouldn't. Oh, this is weird. Through cracks in the earth and basements along the roadside. It smelled wrong, sulfur, rot. So they had a fire. Interesting. In the winter, snow melted in strange shapes, revealing warm earth underneath. Weird. I don't know. So there's a fire that started in the underground in 1962, deep in the coal seams that once sustained the town. No one thought it would last. Coal fires were fought before. This one wasn't. It slipped beyond control, spreading silently beneath the homes, schools, and churches that you couldn't see anything, only what was left behind. Sidewalks cracked, roads buckled, and backyards collapsed into sudden sinkholes. That's crazy. That's crazy. Whoa, man.
That place looks quite horrifying. So
yeah, they evacuated and stuff. Whoa, that's so crazy, man.
Centralia, Pennsylvania is widely known as the real-life inspiration for the eerie abandoned atmosphere of the video game and the film series Silent Hill, due to a massive persistent underground coal mine fire that has burned since 1962, forcing most residents to evacuate and leaving behind a desolate, smoky landscape with toxic gases and sinkholes. While the game developers never confirmed it as a direct source, the movie creators used this ghostly, unstable environment with its cracked roads, eerie steam vents, and abandoned homes as a visual and thematic template for the haunted town.
Dude, like the U.S. by the 90s, the U.S. government revoked its zip code, so it's like it just stopped existing.
Yeah, that's wild. So
I think there, but it just didn't exist. Yeah, what a crazy place.
I read something about this, and people will probably say, "Oh no, you're wrong" or whatever, but I read something that there was some weird, like, like some law or whatever that kind of still stands where they couldn't evict like the final like 25 people who were wanting to stay there. They were of a certain age group or something. They had some sort of like purchase agreement on their homes and they just said, we're not leaving. Yeah. So the government were like, okay. So basically what has happened is I think there's still some people living in that town, I want to say.
Well, yeah, and they're all like, what they probably look like, right?
Let me find this out because I'm pretty sure, right, that there was like a handful of people left there, and it was like, well, when they die out, then that's it.
That's crazy. This is my home. My grandpappy, he made it. My grandpappy, he
I don't know why
he made
want to be there.
Yes. Like crazy.
Okay, so as of 2025. There is 5 residents left there.
That's crazy.
Forced relocations for most, but some stayed due to strong ties to their homes, refusing buyouts, and were allowed to remain until death, with only a church, a few homes, and the fire company surviving the mostly abandoned, overgrown landscape. But I think didn't they get cut off from like everything? Like you said, like the zip code was gone. And I'm pretty sure that like most other amenities were like there is nothing. It's just like, yeah, no, this is just like nobody lives here kind of a thing. Why would you want to stay there?
That's what the weird thing is because but it's that mentality though of like my great grandfather died in the coal mine here and I'm going to die here too. Like that's literally probably some of the mentality though.
So, all the real estate in the borough was claimed under the eminent domain, which is land acquisition or compulsory purchase. This is a compulsory acquisition of private property for public use. It doesn't include power to take, transfer, ownership. So the zip code was discontinued by the Postal Service in 2002. State and local officials reached an agreement with the then 7 remaining residents in October 2013, allowing them to remain there until their deaths, after which the rights to their houses will be taken through eminent domain. As of 2020, only 5 people remain in the town. That's crazy. That's gotta be fucking freaky as well.
Oh yeah, and there's definitely other places like that. Like my buddy Brett drove through Arkansas, and he's like, yeah, there's like places that you just don't want to go. And there's that inbred families and stuff in like the backwoods, and you don't want to go down the backwoods and like places like this because you have no idea. It's gonna be like the what's that movie that you love that's terrible? Wrong Turn.
Yeah, that's not terrible. That's the best movie ever.
The first two are decent, but then I watched number 3 because you suggested it. I was like, what the fuck am I watching? But anyway,
so good, man. I don't know what you're talking about. It's so good.
it is interesting because like it would just be eerie though to like it still exists there, but I do really believe it's that thing about they believe in it's a preservation, right? Like their ancestors died there, maybe if they have that sort of mentality. Or it's like this, like I'm too lazy to move. Fuck that. I built this house with my bare hand. You know what I mean?
I'm assuming you didn't see this movie in 2006, right?
No, but I probably would have seen it not long after that. Like I probably would have either got it. I wouldn't have gone to theaters in it. I don't think to go to theaters to see it, but I would have probably definitely rented it like within a couple months or whenever it came out. Who fucking knows when that was?
I can vaguely remember like around the time it was coming out, but not so much like I don't know. I can't pinpoint like an exact moment, but like I was a fan obviously of the games and stuff, and I remember playing like that and Resident Evil stick out, and I think that's probably the same for most people.
Yeah.
And I remember when I heard like there was a movie then as well, I was like, wow, we got the Resident Evil movie. We got 2 Resident Evil movies. Now we're getting Silent Hill movie. This is the best thing ever.
At the time, I liked the Resident Evil movies. I don't know if we'll ever talk about them.
I love them.
But
I loved it.
The CGI dogs are fucking terrible.
Oh, yeah. The CGI liquor. The liquor is like the worst thing I've ever seen.
There are some good and bad moments, I would say, within those films. But honestly, if I were like the original Resident Evil like movie, the first one, or this, I would take this. I think this is superior as a film.
Yeah, I didn't feel like that before, but yeah, you're right.
You know, the tone is like on point. I actually tried to look up if it was like what game it was based off of and stuff, and there's not. It's taken inspiration and crafted like essentially like a different story. Like they changed names and they made references to it, but they didn't like base it on a game entirely. Is what I read.
So
they like do like we're following the story of Silent Hill 1 or 2 or whatever, right?
So I think so I was reading some of the stuff like with the director and stuff, and he said he was drawn to the game because of the trauma and not being able to be the hero all the time. You might be able to kill a monster or two throughout the entire game. The fact that you're confused in the beginning, it made the video game interesting, and it made you feel vulnerable at all times. Having to make human choices in such an inhuman setting, flipping the perspective to go from your usual hero approach. So I suppose, you know, the idea of like you buy a video game and you're just going to be like the overpowered hero that like gets all the guns and all the fucking ammo and stuff, and you can just blow everything up. And then the fact that this just felt like, no, I'm just like a regular person in a really unsettling place that I don't know anything about.
Yeah, I'm playing number 2 right now, so I'm like,
I really want to get that.
I'm getting stuck. Like I always get that where it's like, where do I go next? I still keep searching around for stuff, like, and it is fun. And I think that some point we should like talk about like horror games or whatever. And, well, I guess we'll try to stick more to the movie for this one, but like you can definitely see the inspiration. And those are some of the games. Like, I can't remember which one you're like. You start off as like a truck driver. Like this is something we would play like you know, PlayStation 1, especially PlayStation 2. I'm pretty sure the first one came out of PS1, and it's just like it's memories, right, of being kind of creeped out. And like back then, it was creepy, even if the graphics were terrible, right? You didn't know any better. There was nothing like there is today. And even playing the new game, like it's pretty well done at like how they remastered it. But definitely a unique game in the world of horror games, probably one of the most well known. And it is fun, but sometimes I do get lost. And I think that's the point.
Yeah, I forgot about that as well. The thing of like, I seen someone being like, I've spent 5 hours lost.
Yeah.
And I've checked the map for like 2.5 hours.
That's where I'm at right now.
No idea what to do.
That's where I'm at literally right now. I'm too busy playing the new Tony Hawk, which is a lot of fun. Also brings back a lot of memories.
Yeah, I played the shit out of that as well.
Yeah.
The director actually spent around 5 years trying to get the rights to this, and eventually I think he used his own money. He sent Konami a 37-minute video, and he had it all Japanese subtitles and everything. And eventually they agreed. They were like, look, this dude is obviously horny to do fucking Silent Hill, so he seems very passionate, so we'll give him the rights. So long as the majority and the base of the story kept like the same. You know, he could change things and whatever, but like you can't change like the bigger lore and be like, oh, it's a completely different setting or it's a completely different town or whatever. It has to be kind of within a certain confines. I mentioned a guy earlier called Roger Avery. Do you have any idea who that is?
A football player?
No, it's the writer of this movie.
So, that man, I just didn't know why. Just
Also,
he has a football player name.
So yeah, I asked you, did you know who the writer Roger Avery was? Or are you familiar with that name at all in the film industry?
No, I'm not.
Okay,
aware.
and most people probably won't be. So I listened to Quentin Tarantino's podcast.
Yeah.
And he co-hosts it with a guy called Roger Avery. And they've also been on Joe Rogan and stuff. And I never really looked into it too much. Then I come to find out that Roger Avery, who wrote this movie, also won a Golden Globe or whatever with Quentin Tarantino for writing the screenplay for Pulp Fiction. And he's written movies like Beowulf and things like that. But his most notable stuff is for kind of helping Quentin with his scripts. That's like his thing. But he said about this movie, it's not so easy when you're going to film something, especially a game. You need to be ready to take everything apart and then put it together in a new way. The only thing that remains of the original material is the main idea, the concept, which all your actions are subordinated to.
Yeah, interesting. You did Beowulf.
Yeah.
I like that when it came out. I think there was like there was a sexy scene with like Jennifer. What's it? Not Jennifer. What's that? Angelina Jolie. And I think that came out when I was young, and I was like, it's CGI, but it's still there, you know?
You probably done some bad stuff to yourself while watching that, Tom.
You remember the part. I feel like Aaron's like, yes, I fondly remember it.
No, I don't know what you're on about.
Oh,
I have no idea.
So you've never seen the movie then?
No, I have, yeah. I know what you're talking about. So yeah, he was the writer for the movie. I just thought that was kind of a weird, unique thing.
Yeah, and it's interesting that he's not mentioned as often, but he's like, it seems like in the background helping.
Yeah, like he's a pretty
Tarantino.
notable guy. Supposedly anyone who's like, you know, works in the film industry, kind of, he's pretty highly regarded as far as I know. He actually, so I suppose I can just give a little bit of context as to some of his other story. So this is a kind of a weird one. So the podcast actually is called the Video Archives Podcast, which is based on the name of the video store that both of them worked in when they were young, called Video Archives. The podcast is really good, actually. But something else unique about him that I thought was a little bit crazy was... so I didn't know this. After Pulp Fiction, he had a falling out with Tarantino that lasted 25 years. The two rekindled their friendship after Tarantino heard Avery being interviewed on a 2019 episode of Bret Easton Ellis's podcast. They announced then that they would do their own podcast, blah, blah, blah. So on January 13th, 2008, Avery was arrested under suspicion of manslaughter and DUI following a car crash in California in which his passenger, Andrea Zini, was killed. The Ventura County Sheriff's Department responded to the crash after midnight on Sunday morning on the 900 block of East Avenue. Avery was released from jail on a $50,000 bail. In December of that year, he was charged with and pleaded not guilty to gross vehicle manslaughter and 2 felony counts of causing bodily injury while intoxicated. He changed his plea to guilty on August of the following year. And on September in 2009, he was sentenced to 1 year of work furlough, allowing him to go to his job during the day and then report back to a facility at night, and 5 years probation. However, after making several tweets about the conditions of his stay on Twitter, he was sent to Ventura County Jail to serve out the remainder of his term.
That's crazy. Weird.
Yeah.
A lot of celebrities kill people with their cars, like Matthew Broderick, and they got like brushed under the rug and stuff. Like, it is a weird...
Is it just because like
They're
you're
drunk
living
and rich,
that
and
lifestyle,
like-
yeah, and you just like drink, and you're like, I can drive when I'm drunk. I can do whatever I want. Who cares?
and then you're folded up into your own body like Ryan Dunn in a fucking side of a tree. You
It's
know,
just like yikes.
so many people. Paul Walker. There's conspiracies about that stuff though.
Dun, dun, dun.
Do you know the fog was not CGI? It was practical, something that we both love. Large portions of the town's fog were created using industrial smoke machines. This was done intentionally to preserve the texture, lighting, and realism rather than rely on digital fog, which is like it's cool. That's cool to me because I would hate like something that we'll get into on the next movie on the next episode. It's like I just think it's a little CGI heavy, you know. But,
and I'm slightly concerned for Return to Silent Hill because I've been hearing varying reports that there's a lot of CG in this new one that's coming out at the end of the month, and I'm a little bit concerned. But
I hate so much CG.
At the same time, I don't know. Like, I've heard lots of different things. So I actually want to retract something I said a while ago. We done an episode where we talked about upcoming horror movies in 2026. And I said there is two really good Irish filmmakers. Lee Cronin, who done Evil Dead Rise, A Hole in the Ground, a couple of other movies. He was announced to be doing Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
Yeah.
And I said I read something online that said the test screenings were absolutely abysmal.
Yeah, you said
and
that.
that it was so bad that they were changing the name of the movie from The Mummy to The Resurrected.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I'm going to retract that because that movie has been announced and has a trailer, and it is
I
called
saw it.
Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
I saw
and,
it. Yeah.
And now the rumor that the test screenings went really bad and the studio were worried has now turned into a new rumor, which is the movie is fucking amazing and everybody can't wait to see it.
Weird. Never
So-
trust anything anywhere ever.
Like,
I literally believe in that trust of nothing that you hear and half of what you see. It's very true. Right?
yeah, pretty much. So I want to retract what I said about that. That was seemingly all bullshit. But on the topic of you said about CG or about this being practical in this movie, that was all down to this guy who is the director, Christophe Gans, who, as I mentioned earlier, sent a 37-minute video to Konami explaining his take and countless letters over 5 years.
Yeah.
So you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, we have him in the first movie with the lead, and now underneath, that is him.
Oh, interesting.
With the new movie with the lead in that movie.
Well, I hope it's good because he did the first one. I don't know if he did the second one, but the first movie, I think it is well done for the concept of the game and the vibe of it. Pyramid Head isn't canon. By design, Pyramid Head appears in the movie, even though it originates from Silent Hill 2, not the first game, which is interesting. Gaines included him deliberately as a symbolic executioner, not a literal character. Something that he's openly stated in interviews. It's interesting to because like that's such an iconic character is Pyramid Head. I knew a kid that dressed up like and made it, and it looked pretty good. Made a whole Pyramid Head costume.
It's a pretty cool costume.
Came to school and I'm pretty sure this is like grade 7 or 8 or something. He didn't wear a shirt, and he was just dragging around like this.
I don't know if that'd work with my body.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
He was a skinny fuck though. He was a skinny kid, and it's just so funny because he made it all out of like maybe the cardboard or something, but it looked really good and it fit around his head pretty decently. And he just was dragging the giant like sword or whatever.
Look at my phone thing. That's kind of weird that we're talking about that. And that's my phone. I used to have my kid and stuff on it. I was like, actually, I leave my phone around places, and I don't want my
nerd.
So I always put like something. I did have long legs on at one point with a smashed up face.
Yeah,
people are like, "What the fuck is that?" I was like, "Yeah, motherfucker, don't look at my phone."
Yeah,
you
just
were
like
right.
I'm gonna make my background. Never mind. Carry on.
He didn't do the sequel. So what happened there was the first one was actually really well received, I think, and the studio was happy. Everyone was happy.
We need a new one now. Yeah.
And they said, okay, let's make a sequel because the director was like, I have an idea. I have, what we can do from here. That first one was supposed to be kind of from what I gather, right, originally he wanted to adapt. Yeah, so the first idea for the movie came in 1999. He originally wanted to do Silent Hill 2, which he said seemed the most emotional and fan favorite. So he thought that would be the best. Then, upon reflection, he said that I felt like I couldn't adapt part 2 without explaining the mythology and origins of the town itself first. So that's how it turned into the movie it did. And then they had the plan. The sequel was going to be Silent Hill 2 adaptation, basically.
Which would be cool if I'm playing that game. I'll be into that.
Then when the dude dude killed somebody and went to jail, obviously he was off the project. He wasn't going to be writing the movie. And then Christophe Gans was like, well, if he's not writing it then and the whole thing is fucked up, I'm just going to leave. And then they just got some other person in.
I need this murderer to write it because he's such good at writing.
I don't know if it just like fucked the whole thing up or whatever. And then somebody else.
Did.
Now, the exciting thing is that the new movie that he's back directing and he's written is all these years later is his true adaptation of Silent Hill 2. So Return to Silent Hill.
Too much CGI.
I know, that's the only thing I'm afraid of. There's a scene with the armless man and he looks very CG. And he wasn't CG in 2006, so don't give me the excuse about CG has gotten so good because it looks like PS1 graphics.
It's weird as we get further along. It actually looks worse.
Yeah, it's interesting.
For
isn't it?
some reason, and it's like,
like I look at The Mummy sometimes, and I'm like, some of the CG in this holds up better than movies I see now.
I know that's a terrible CGI.
Yeah, which is not a good sign. An
interesting thing about this film, it has almost like no jump scares. Like it relies on the kind of like atmosphere of dread. Like the standard kind of horror pacing, but it's more like a psychological horror structure of the game than like what they would normally do as like a Hollywood slasher. So it is, and the atmosphere is creepy. There's some wild scenes in this movie. Let's get out of the way. When he rips off that chick's flesh is like some of the crazy. I remember I watched it back like 3 times and I was like, that's a crazy looking thing, and it just like, and it's such a graphic, gory, and it reads well. Like you see his hand pull into her skin, and then he rips it off, and they add some CGI, I'm sure, but like it looks good. Like it's not too much over the top. It is kind of like a perfect, and that's like probably one of the craziest things I've seen in like a horror movie for a while, at least when it comes to like, because that guy would be capable of it. It's not like Jason doing it. It's like this, he's in his own world, Pyramid Head, right? He's essentially just like, he's almost like some sort of, he just follows whatever, like the Silent Hill inside that chick, right? The entity. It's like, she's his like master, he's just doing what he's told to do,
There is some other stuff as well, and I don't know if I want to get into them on this episode, because I feel like I'd love to do like an episode just about the games, because there's a lot of, and not just about gameplay, more about like the themes behind the games and stuff, like, because if you look at it, like each monster kind of represents something different.
Yeah.
So there is stuff like that. I hated those
nurses in the game.
Yeah, like so, like the nurses are like supposed to represent like sexual repression, and then you have like
oh, interesting.
Yeah, you have like Pyramid Head is like the punishment figure, like he's there to like punish you, and it's like James's psychological issues that he has, and like his resentment for his wife because he wasn't getting some when she was sick and all this fucking shit. It's just like, I didn't realize how deep the whole thing goes. So basically, like, the whole idea, a lot of people don't get this. They're like, oh yeah, you go to Silent Hill and the Pyramid Head guy is there. And it's like, no, technically speaking, if you go by Silent Hill lore, Silent Hill could be, like, if both of us ended up in Silent Hill,
we could be in
like,
different ones.
Yeah, like I could be seeing fucking nurses and whatever because I'm all sexually repressed and like miserable. And then like
it's like some Hellraiser shit.
Yeah, and then you could be getting ripped apart by like some other scary motherfucker because it's playing on like your fears and your issues and like stuff like that. I love that. Not gonna lie.
Such a waste of good suffering.
It reminds me of Hellraiser, like it does, of that idea of like it's sadomasochistic and it like feeds off of your pain and like and it gives you like the worst image in your mind of what that pain represents, or that guilt or something like that, right? And you gotta admit, like Silent Hill, especially the game, and then obviously I think this movie did well because it does represent the game pretty well, and this game was really well known. Even when I was growing up, like I remember, like a lot of people played it that I knew, right? Everyone had at least a PlayStation 1 or 2 or something, and then we got translated into like a film. Like just the characters of it is something like what people would see in Hellraiser, but it's like a new design. It's a new thing. Like even when we watched it, I was watching it. The wife definitely wasn't, but
again, she didn't like it.
When I didn't make her watch it, actually, I just but she was in the background, but like the creatures that have like no arms and stuff, I was like, oh, I'm playing them in the game right now. I have to shoot them because I'm like because I'm playing the game. It reflects that like they
She's
did a
just
good
like,
job.
well, boring. Go away. I don't care.
I know. Interesting though. There's creepy creatures. Like I'm just trying to think through all of them. Like even the little girl representation of that, like the anger and her kind of getting revenge, and that scene where the cop gets burnt is pretty crazy. Like I actually think like the way they did it and how they zoom in on her face and she's like breathing, because you would essentially, and then she dies and just burns away, is like crazy, because that's how it would happen. You would slowly start to catch,
in fairness.
Yeah, and then your skin would catch on fire because you would be getting so hot, and then eventually like the heat from you breathing it in would collapse like your lungs with heat, and then essentially you would die before you burnt into a crisp, right? And then I think they do a really creepy good representation of that, because she's like and then it zooms out and she just like burns all up because her skin starts to catch on fire. Like that's pretty fucked up, man. That's a crazy thought.
There's like you mentioned Pyramid Head, like, so obviously he's like the main villain or whatever in Silent Hill 2. And he's officially known as Red Pyramid Thing is like the official translation for him. He represents James's wish to be punished for his wife's death. The designer of Silent Hill 2's monster created him because he wanted a monster with a hidden face. Known for his large triangular head, he lacks a voice. Its appearance stems from the distorted memory of the executioners and the town's past as a place of execution, according to character designers. And then he's become kind of like but if you read into it, I don't want to get into it now because I think we might talk about the games and like some of the themes and the occult stuff.
Yeah,
really
we should definitely do that. Yeah,
because there's some like really unique stuff there with like the Japanese were obsessed with the occult, and that's a lot of the basis for Silent Hill games.
Yeah, and I'd love to talk about that because I got something to end this on in a little, just based on some of the occult and connections to like what you could pick out from the movie. Stuff like that interests me because all these things are inspired by something. Right? You hear a lot of artists, like I listen to a lot of shows like that, like or watch things about, like maybe a rock star selling their soul or something. And you think about like how they get involved with this kind of like dark magic. And this movie really represents that, of these like people that, are brainwashed by their cult-like religion and believe they need sacrifices to like appease these demonic gods, which is very familiar. If people would claim real things, so it is a wild concept. And like Pyramid has such a crazy character. Like even that, like when he's like stabbing and he's like going and like you can hear the sounds of it breaking through the metal. Like that scene's pretty epic too. And then you see his big gnarly hand come out and all the bugs. Like it's that scene is pretty incredible. Like there's so many scenes in this that I remember even when I was a kid, and I was like, that's crazy. And his massive like, I think it was sword. It reminds me of like the sword in like Final Fantasy. Like how
that's
carry
literally
that
yeah. That's actually what it always reminded me of. I was like, that's like a big Final Fantasy sword.
Yeah, because why do you need that thing? That thing's
massive. Yeah, why does it have to be that size?
Yeah, that's crazy. Showing off.
Yeah, the original script actually was rejected by the studio due to the absence of males in the story. So originally there was no men in the story, like other than like say Pyramid Head and whatever.
Yeah, weird.
But the studio came back and they were like, nope, you've got to put men in because it just doesn't work without men. And
Wow,
used this.
before like that Disney show.
You could never say that now. You would not be allowed to say that as a producer or a studio. However, they used this to their advantage to play with the perception of reality, with the plot then becoming a combination of the first game with elements of the second and third game all mixed together. So that's like what you were talking about, where it was kind of a mismatch of like all different sorts of things. Fans also sent writer Roger Avery their versions of the script and sent him death threats and told him that they could write a better version, and if he fucked this up, they would kill his children.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's a bit wild. Yeah. He came out on interviews and said that. He was like, I'm pretty sure you can't write a better movie than me, but maybe leave out you're going to kill my kids.
That's absolutely nuts. That's crazy. Like, is it Japanese people?
No, I don't think so. It's probably Americans.
Like people that like really love like the game or something, and they're
no,
like,
I feel like the Japanese are not like that.
You disrespected my game. You know,
Christ,
like,
there we are, cancelled. Cancelled.
Me and Billy spent like 20 minutes on the one episode recently trying to do Chinese accents. It's fun, people. If someone wants to do like a Canadian accent, it doesn't bother me. You can go ahead and do it.
So they I mentioned, there's a huge amount of lore to the city, so they need to try and find a way like to convey that without making it overly complicated, which I think they done. I suppose. See, it's hard because I think the director was like, look, I want this to be something that Silent Hill fans really want, but then I also understand that like we have to appeal, like if you've never played the game,
you still have to
come
appeal
to you can't come to the movie theater and go, huh? Oh, I don't understand that obscure Easter egg from a 1999 video game, so I can't watch this movie anymore.
Because some people may have never even played the game that were not into video games, but like horror. Because there was definitely cases of that where people just didn't. I don't like video games.
I know somebody personally, right, who will never play a horror video game or anything, is like too afraid, but absolutely right, but absolutely loves to watch Let's Plays of those games.
So other people playing it.
Yeah. So like say like if we were to go like, oh, let's do a playthrough where we play like 2 hours of Silent Hill 2 every week. And like we take turns or whatever. Like he would he would love watching that. Like two guys chatting over like gameplay. He's like, oh, it makes it so interesting to me. I can like have a coffee, I can chill out, I can have a smoke or whatever, and it's just like on. And like
that's interesting because there is there's like Billy made fun of it like once of saying like he's like there's that joke. It's not Billy's joke, but he's like what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm watching this kid playing video games. He's like, why don't you play video games? And it's like a dad being like, I pay so much for you to have these video games, and you're watching somebody else play the video game. And the only thing that I think it works for in that regard, because I think if you watch someone play like NHL or like stuff like that, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing, man? But like it's like horror games specifically, I get why you would watch someone, because I used to stream like at Dead of Night, is that what it was called? And that was one of the scariest games I've literally ever played. If that's the one I'm thinking, yeah, it is. And it's it's a game where you're like, it's filmed with like, I like to, when we do horror games to talk about it, but it's filmed with like real people, and you go around corners and you're trying to like find out why these ghosts are existing in this hotel. And this guy named Jimmy like beats the shit out of you with a baseball bat any chance he gets. It's like and it's like that game, I've watched other people play it, and it is because it has jump scares. You get to see people react. I don't know if you remember, there's that one clip of me where I smashed the mic into my face, and Juan thought it was so funny. And it's like, that was that game. He just
people
comes
like
out of nowhere, and
that's
it's like,
why I said to you about like maybe if we can figure it out, you know, maybe once every other week or something, we could do like an hour stream of us just like
that'd be cool, and we could stream it on
like
Twitch and stuff.
But years and years ago, before I ever done any sort of podcasting, I was actually like doing like gameplay things on YouTube, and I don't even know what the channel was called anymore. I don't even know if it exists. But like I done a whole series where I played Outlast when they first came out.
Oh, I actually played some of that too.
And like I remember getting like 1,000 views a video and being like, I'm God, the biggest YouTuber ever. Oh my God, I'm gonna be a millionaire.
Yeah, people were like really stick. If you really stick to we have 200 and some people on Twitch, and you just stick at that. People want to see people play video games on there, frankly, right? And there's so many horror games that it's fun to watch people play. Like I watch someone play Silent Hill because if I was stuck, right, I'm like, that's I do that often, walkthroughs, and you actually get like their sense of how they're feeling it like in while they're playing the game of like and it's interesting, right? The only thing I can give credence for is like horror games, because they would be like I played this Japanese horror game I streamed, and it was really weird, and I wanted to like finish it. There's some games like I just uploaded. There's another game that reminds me of Silent Hill, but it's like a lot darker. It's called Agony, and you're like in hell.
Oh yeah.
And I played like almost, I think I played like more than half it, but I put it on Patreon as like a 4-hour, all my streams combined, because it's such a crazy game. And my reactions, I'm like, what the fuck? You're in hell, and there's like naked guys strung up with their dicks hanging out, and like
be another
with tits
hilarious
and
one
shit.
for us
It's
to
nuts.
play. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called The Forest.
I've heard, yeah.
And basically, like you're dropped on. It's kind of like Minecraft, right? So you're dropped on an island. It doesn't look like Minecraft now. It looks like an actual video game, like. But you're just dropped on an island, and you crash. You're in a plane crash, and you crash on some sort of tropical island thing, and like both of us could spawn in on the same island, like. So like we both spawn at the same plane crash.
Oh yeah, and then you have to like.
And basically, you don't really know anything, but it turns out that there's some weird mutants, like something out of The Descent. These like bald-headed, scary cannibal mutant things that come out at night. And like you basically have like the daylight to try and scavenge, build some sort of a base to stay away from them.
We just need to do an
then,
episode about horror games, because like there's like Visage I played. Let's carry on. But there was one game that like when Anton still existed, this that we got were it's called In Silence. So essentially you're supposed to like, it's like that movie A Quiet Place, and you're supposed to be quiet when these creatures are around, and it's I can't do that.
Yeah, there's them ones where you have to have like there's them ones where you have to have your mic activated.
Yeah, it's wild, dude.
So like if you make any noise with your mouth or anything, it triggers the game and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what that one was, and I couldn't shut up. So this thing I would always die, and like you're just to play with people. I'm like, how do you communicate, man? It's gonna get murdered. Phasmophobia one.
There was 4 variations of the city. I don't know if people noticed that, but like there's the 1970s version of Silent Hill, then you have the present day version, then there's the version in the fog, and then there's the version in the darkness. So you have like the city of 30 years ago shows up in flashbacks. Then you have the current city in which Chris is searching for Rose and Sharon. And then you have the foggy one where she searches for Sharon, and that represents like her being in like some kind of like purgatory kind of thing. Yeah. And then the gloomy day is like being consumed by darkness, which is supposed to be the embodiment of hell. Yeah, they had the idea not to explain everything, what happens in the moments between death and faith. The terror of, this is all the stuff I think is like really deep that nobody really gets. Like the terror of loneliness, the fear of the dark, the fear of taking responsibility for your own evil side, the fear of your own faith in life. There's like stuff there with motherhood, your own faith, persecution, core identity, all that sort of stuff. He did say actually about the ending, he was trying to show like the dangers of like religious, like fanatical people having this faith, especially unguided faith, and trying to show how damaging that can be to you and people around you, like to follow something without any real. And it's probably something I don't want to get into it, but like it's ties into a lot of stuff we've talked about before, even about the modern day, like, people following something without any real reason to. You're just kind of following along because that's what everyone else is doing. So it's like, yeah, let's join the cult because she said that's the way we need to go. So I guess she's right.
And it is interesting because it reflects a lot of the things that are going on in the world right now.
But it was just scary.
Politics at all, but like me and Aaron are both the same. We don't believe in left or right. Like I think it's the same bird. But you see these people like that, and it's like, even if they don't like something somebody does, like you say, like obviously use Trump as an example. There's people that are like, he could be on Epstein's list and I wouldn't care. He's my president. It's just like crazy.
Yeah, just some of the stuff.
And it's like cult-like.
Yeah,
right?
It is. And like the Alyssa character, the whole idea of her like inflicting on the town what the cult did to her.
Yeah.
And like a lot of this is supposed to be like you're seeing the versions of the town are from her fractured psychology. So it's like the different sides of the same person, which in Silent Hill, if you look into like the lore of it, that's another thing they explore, is like every single person that ever existed has multiple versions of themselves, and there's like the version you hide from everybody. There's the version that like maybe your only inner circle get to see. There's the version that like goes to work,
that's true,
and
because
goes
like people
to,
literally
yeah,
do that, right?
you know, and we all probably do it to a degree. Like we all have like stuff, I don't know, it goes through our
there's
mind
a
or in our
version of
heads
me
that we
on the
don't.
show that I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That I maybe like, I don't know what's that word I want to use, but I drum
Yeah, like
it
when
up
you,
a bit.
well, yeah, when you turn off the camera, like, and you're with your wife and your kid, like you're
I
a
still
different,
yell and talk like this.
but like
Just
you have a
kidding.
different version, like that's not
Yeah.
that's exclusive for them. Like that's your family, that's your like thing that like the outer
Yeah.
world doesn't get to be in on.
And some people are more than others. Like I think me and you and even Billy, we're pretty authentic people. We're like the way I am on the show is pretty much the way I am in the real world. Where there'll be people that are like totally,
Yeah,
fake
totally
on
different. Yeah,
camera or whatever, right? You know,
and
and then,
it's kind of funny because it's like the whole idea then is Silent Hill punishes you for that.
yeah,
So the more you're like that, the more the town punishes you for, and that's what the creatures represent. So even in the games, they're supposed to be like forgotten feelings. So like they represent like hate, guilt, revenge, all those things you hold inside yourself.
Yeah,
And then obviously depending on what you've been through or what's in your mind will kind of determine what happens to you when you're there. Which
that
I thought
sounds
was
like a
quite
bad
unique.
mushroom trip, man.
I know, right? Because I was like, you know what? I would love to know what would happen if I went to Silent Hill. Would I be just fucked? Would every monster
Dude,
ever just
I know.
spawn?
Yeah, I know. That sounds like a bad mushroom trip where it's like they do this to you if you've never done them, and it like finds like say bad attributes about yourselves or things that you necessarily maybe don't like or mistakes that you've made or guilt or regrets. It will be like, oh yeah, you remember that time that you did this to this person? Yeah, that was fucked up. You know what I mean? Like it'll be like it'll like show you things you don't want to. You remember that time that like you're like, you know, they say you're like a guy, your wife divorced you and left you for all the kids. You're like, why did that happen? And you're just like, no.
But that's like, there's a lot of stuff like that. I didn't realize that like we're in, you know, the idea of, I know like the original game series was like the monsters were supposed to be a mockery of human beings. So like it was basically all the hidden sides of a person. You know, that maybe the monsters are those of us who try to appear perfect and like we haven't done anything wrong. We don't have any weird desires. And like they bring up a lot of like sexual like repression and stuff like that, which is probably something that like, and it's mainly probably more men kind of harbor, where like, you know, we're probably more sexually needy. And it's like there's, you know, when you come to a place like this, then you're being punished for that. And that's what like the nurses represent, because that's why they have like the titties and the whole thing, but then their faces are all fucked up, and it's like that's to like play on your mind.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because they would find that it would be these kind of repressed feelings, and yeah, we all know, right? Like if a woman wants to get laid, somebody out there will fuck her, right? Guys, it's like they have to like go through all this work. At the end of the day, Aaron knows
a lot more. It's hellscape. There's an interesting Easter egg actually when Rose is looking at the map. To do with the hospital, I think it is. It says down, down, left, right, which is I think a cheat code thing from the game. And when her phone rings, actually at two different points during the movie, her ringtone is the ringtone of Snake from Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Which I thought was completely just, it was random because obviously Konami made that.
Yeah, and it's you know, and it's the soundtrack, like the atmospheric music that I think they directly took from the game, if I'm not mistaken. It's so on point, like that. I can't do it proper, but you know what I mean. It's
so good.
It's creepy. It's unnerving. It's kind of like it's atmospheric. It reminds you of the game. It's so crazy. Yeah, wow, what it used to look like.
I know, crazy. Right? Like, because there's some people that will listen to this that are probably only like, you know, 16, 17, 18, 20 years old, whatever.
This was
will have no concept.
Back in the day. Yeah.
Like, this was amazing. It's just wild. Like,
did they remaster the first one? Like,
no, I don't think so.
No, they didn't.
They done a HD collection, but I don't think it was just like a.
Dude,
It looked exactly like this, but they tried to like HD it.
wow, it looks like it's so funny because it's how bad it looks, and it's just like that was the shit back then. What's that game that was like everyone thought was banned? A lot of people
Manhunt.
Manhunt, yeah, dude, I bought that and I was playing it and I was like, these graphics fucking suck. Like I remember that game just fucked up.
Isn't
though.
it weird how I knew that that's exactly what you were talking about?
Yeah,
with
Manhunt is the
no
one,
context.
Dude. For some reason, that game is, I don't think it's that bad, but like just the context of what the game is about. And I remember like people playing it, like my buddy, I think it's like my older buddy's brother's thing, playing that game and like the here piggy piggy and all those things of the guys coming like to kill you and shit. It is that's also a pretty frightening kind of.
I used to shit my pants actually playing that. I'll be honest. When I first
that game was pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie.
It used to give me like really bad, like not like scared as in like, oh no, the spooky man. More like anxiety feeling where I was like, I think I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah, I know. Me too. Like I'm gonna die if these, and then because once you got caught and stuff. Yeah, some of these games back then, this sort of just reminds me of it. And I definitely played this, but I don't think I necessarily remember playing the first one.
Vaguely, maybe little bits, but I don't. I remember playing a demo for it. I think.
Yeah, probably something. Like
Remember
that.
you used to get those demo discs with like a PlayStation magazine.
Yeah, I remember the good old days.
This is one of the few movies actually that Sean Bean doesn't die in.
Sean Bean movie.
Sean Bean, he's notorious. He dies in absolutely everything. Literally everything he's ever been in, bar like maybe 2 things, he's died. That's like a running joke online. Yeah, every time he's casting something. This is what I was talking about though. A rough draft of the work was ready by October 2004. Nevertheless, due to complete absence of male characters, the script was rejected by the producers. Only after the script was modified to include Sean Bean's character and the subplot was
That's so
approved.
weird, and it's crazy how like the original game came out in 1999, and then within 5 years, this guy really wanted to make a movie about it.
Yep. Well, from the minute he played it in 1999, he spent 5 years hounding Konami.
Yeah, which is crazy.
And then eventually,
it's so interesting. It just reminds me of like that South Park skit, Put a chick in it and make her gay, because it's like now back then it was like it's gotta have men in it, It's so funny.
I don't know what I actually don't know what the
weird.
reason behind that was. They were like, no, people won't relate if you don't have like the dad.
Yeah, maybe
He's like looking for his family and stuff, and you need to have that.
They need a relatability, because like even in those, I'm trying to think of those like chick flick movies, like I'll go back time to time and watch some of those with Chelsea or something like that, where it's like, like what I wouldn't watch it the one day she was watching Crossroads with like Britney Spears. I'm like, I fucking don't remember. I must have watched it as a kid though, and I'm like, but I relate to the guy that's gonna get with the chicks. You know what I mean? Even those like chick flicks, there's still dudes in it.
There's what you were talking about, which is my probably favorite part of the movie, is the fact that the creature effects are all fantastic. I'll be honest. The time, care, passion that was put into them, you can tell. They use some CGI, but it's mainly only to just kind of clean up stuff. It's all practical. It's all in camera. Many practical effects used with CGI only for touch-ups. Most of the work was done in camera. Like, I love that about movies. That's what makes a movie for me. I hate that we have to get things that are just all CG.
Because there's no thought went into that. It'll only get cheaper. There's people making movies with AI soon. Like it's like this, you can tell somebody's like artwork essentially went into it, not some sort of computer. You know what I mean? And like as much as like I like the internet and the things you can do with it, some of these things it shows human creativity and what we are capable of. If we come subordinate to machines, we're gonna go extinct, like it's gonna happen. Everything
just becomes boring at that point as well. I'm like, boring. Everything is the same. It tells you the same thing. It shows you the same images, just a little bit different. I love the creature design in this, and I'll be honest, right? I love all the different creatures, but for some reason, I don't know why. And it's kind of funny because he was only created for the movie. The janitor character really sticks out to me.
That
Tom is back. Tom is gone.
Which one's that? Yeah,
the janitor character is the guy with like his legs like tied up to the back of his head.
Yeah, that is freaky.
So that was only, that was added like 2 days before they shot that scene. Like he's not a character from anything. So the guy who was doing all the like the movement coach for like the nurses and the different monsters, he also played Pyramid Head, and he also played that janitor character. He's a guy by the name of Roberto Campanella, and he was the movement coach for the movie. I thought that character of the janitor, when he's like crawling along the floor.
Yeah, it's quite.
And then
creepy.
he's like sticking his tongue out over and over again.
That.
I'm like, that's fucking unsettling. That's
100%.
terrifying.
This definitely like, and that perfect way to describe it. It's like it gives you this unsettling, weird
He's
feeling.
like crawling along the wall, like he's like going along the wall, along the floor with his legs tied up. It's like, I don't know what it is about that, but I'm like, that is fucking horrible.
Smash or pass the nurses.
Smash, probably. I'll be honest. I've seen quite a few
nostalgic.
of them. Yeah, I've seen quite a few of them over the years, like on like nights out and stuff, where I would go somewhere like Halloween party, and like chicks would always try and dress up as that shit. I'm like, do you even know what that's from?
I know, that's so funny. Oh man, it's that's so hilarious. It's because like because they would. I thought you were gonna say they would have them at the like theme parks that you go to.
Oh yeah, well they've done a Silent Hill thing and they've had them like as well.
Cool.
Same thing. Like, and they always try and have like, you'll see like chicks dressed kind of like that, selling like Jello shots and shit.
Yeah, that's so funny.
And you're like, of course you would, because you're getting all the dorks to be like, hey, the hot chick wants to talk to me.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, give me $40 for one Jello shot. You're like, yeah, see the way she was checking me out, bro. Like, you are so dumb. You've just spent like $100 on one drink.
I know. Well, that's what they do, right? It's like a strip club. It's not a strip club,
But yeah, so Patrick Tatopoulos, who was on that FX show Face Off, and like he's a world famous makeup artist. And
wow, I used to watch that
artist.
show like when we first got the fuck. Oh God, dude.
I love
Dude.
that. That's like my male version of like, like a chick watching like fucking Desperate Housewives or some shit.
Yeah, that's so funny. It actually kind of gives me PTSD, because I was doing like cocaine at the time.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just
Nice.
but I was obsessed with it because I got like the one of those new boxes or whatever that you could get where like you could download things off the internet. You could watch things on it for free. The Android box or whatever they called it. And I found that show and I was like, and I liked that it was like a competition. I used to watch it all the time, man. That's so funny.
That is crazy. I knew you'd get that reference as well.
That's so funny. Reminds me of bad times also.
We will finish this up in a minute. I
days.
just have a couple more things to run through, and then we can give our final thoughts, our review, our rating.
Can I breeze through some of the occult connections?
Yeah, sure.
So the occult, there's obviously there's occult symbolism within the movie. So the town's religious groups blend like Christian iconography, churches, crucifixes, and pagan punishment rituals and witch trial era kind of logic. This whole idea, if you see it, kind of the structure early, modern European and American communities and of heresy, sin, and purification. Then you obviously have the fire as purification. And Alyssa, is that right? Is that who you're saying? Alyssa, right? Elisa?
Yeah.
Alyssa, right. Burning in the frame is framed as a ritual cleansing. Obviously, it kind of echoes this idea of like medieval witch burnings and the alchemical symbols where fire destroys the impure to reveal the truth. Cult beliefs that on suffering can open up spiritual gateways, which is interesting because the cult believes and stuff like that. Fire in Silent Hill doesn't just kill, it fractures reality and splits the town into layers. And then obviously the girl as like a kind of a Gnostic figure, a child, almost like a Gnostic demiurge kind of victim, a child harmed by a false religious authority. Her pain reshapes the world. She creates an inverted reality to expose their hypocrisy. It reflects this like Gnostic themes where false gods rule broken worlds and the truth emerges through suffering. And obviously the town, right, of this normal world, fog, ash, and ruin, but it mirrors the occult in the ways of like these realms between life, death, consciousness. And these bells and sirens and ritual sound make transitions, much like a ceremonial magic, which is interesting. You ring a bell and then, they cast some sort of witchcraft on you. And then obviously you have Pyramid Head, kind of like a judgment, executioner of guilt, ritual, punishment. This aligns with the occult archetypes found in the tarot cards too, and ancient mythic executioners, not demons, but a function of a cosmic balance. That's very interesting. And then obviously like you have blood rituals, and doing like the ritual of blood and going into the floor and stuff. And this is why it's unlike other horror movies. Evil isn't random. Monsters have a symbolic purpose. Punishment is ritualized, not chaotic. This is why Silent Hill feels closer to the occult than other standard horror films. It's about belief systems collapsing under their own cruelty, which is an interesting way to put it.
Yeah, it's like I personally think it's way deeper. Just the Silent Hill thing in general, this movie, the video games and stuff, there's a lot deeper stuff going on there that I'll be honest with you, I didn't really know how much they actually, like the team that created this, I didn't realize how much they looked into like the occult and like different things and like human psychology and like, you know, emotional issues people have and stuff like that. And the role that like they said, like, you know, fanatically following certain things without any real guidance. And it's nearly always somebody who's like emotionally or mentally fractured and stuff like that and what that can do to a person. I didn't realize like that they had looked at it that in depth. Another thing I loved about this as well is they got the game composer Akira Yamamoto. Yamoko.
Sure.
I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Okay, yeah. And obviously you get all of his music and like that there's that one particular song I can't think of the name of it, but it's like the Silent Hill one. Which I thought was really unique. It's like a mixture of the soundtrack for the first 4 games put together. The soundtrack for this movie actually was never released as a standalone, as its own thing, which I thought was quite unique. 127-minute runtime, although there is stories online. Yeah, I saw on Reddit though, there's stories online for years that there is actually a 3.5-hour director's cut, which he goes into all the lore, all the backstory,
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, there was 107 different sets built from scratch. They built, you know, that cliffside where she crashes the Jeep at the start, where she's entering Silent Hill. They actually built that in a soundstage. The entire thing. They tarmac the road. They built the whole big like 100-foot cliffside and everything.
That's wild, yeah.
Blu-ray. Oh yeah, actually, I don't have a copy of this movie, like a DVD or a Blu-ray.
Yeah.
It's incredibly hard to pick up, I'll be honest. It's one of the few modern age movies I found that's really hard to pick up unless you're prepared to pay like pretty decent money. It made $20 million in its opening weekend and it was the #1 movie in America. It sold 1.3 million DVDs in 4 weeks, which grossed over 22 million in its first month of being released on physical media. Box Office Mojo has it in the top 10 highest grossing video game adaptations of all time. CBR, Polygon, Fangoria, and more have all stated it as the best horror game adaptation ever.
I would say that's pretty clear. Yeah, I would say that's...
Yeah, and there's a store actually. There's a part in it where she's walking through the town and there's a store and it has the name over it. I thought this was a unique Easter egg. And the store is called MT Rooms. Which is supposed to be an nod to, if you can remember in the original game, there was just rooms with nothing in them. Empty rooms.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be like a little Easter egg to that. I'm going to go on record and say that this is the best video game adaptation, horror game adaptation.
Yeah,
ever.
I would say so. It's so good. Like we can talk and touch upon more of even this film when we talk about the second one and even some of the games and stuff, just because it kind of all relates. But I absolutely love this film. You know, out of 10 satanic looking Japanese little girls, I'll give it like a 9, man.
Yeah, I'm going to say a 9. I was thinking 8.5, but I think a 9 is probably fair. I'll be honest. If you're basing it off of what it's, you know, based on a video game, the lore of the video game, trying to stay true as it can, but trying to introduce another audience, I'm going to say this is a pretty solid 9 for what.
Yeah,
I'm not
we'll
saying
have
it's
to
going to win
talk about the
Oscars
games
or
at some
anything.
point, because I don't even remember which ones I've played over the years. I definitely played 2 and 3 probably.
There's a
maybe
lot of games
4,
there that like you don't realize.
I know Origins. I feel like I may played. I kind of want the new one. I'm not gonna lie.
Silent Hill F, yeah, it's meant to be
Yeah.
very good. Isn't that's based in Japan, right?
Yes, which
Yeah,
is the
it's
first time they've done that. I feel like.
yeah, which I think is really unique. People were like, "That's a really cool take," and
Yeah.
they're doing another one called I think it's just called Silent Hill.
That's cool. Yeah. I gotta get past it where I'm stuck on the second one, but it is a fun game. Yeah, like you'll hear more about our thoughts on the next one, but I actually really enjoyed this, and it's something in the context of like we're just talking about the movie, like we're two homies talking about how much we love a movie, and there's a lot of good aspects about this film, and yeah, 9 I would say 9 out of 10. It's pretty decent, man.
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
good.
I'm
It's
gonna
pretty
go
good
with the
horror
same.
flick.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm gonna go with the same. I think 9 out of 10 is really good. I think for fans of Silent Hill or just someone coming in as new, I think if you look at it below the surface level as well, it makes it even better when you realize
Decent
that
acting, good story, like everything.
and like you kind of realize that like
CGI.
you could technically just watch it as like a horror movie and be like, oh, big scary guy, scary nurses. And then if you didn't like watching movies like that and you want something a bit deeper, if you just look up a tiny bit about it, you'll be like, whoa, all this shit is not just here by random. It's like here for a purpose. Everyone's seeing something different because it depends on how it's their like, emotions and stuff they've went through and baggage and things like that.
Yeah.
I think that's really unique. Yeah, this has been interesting. If you've made it
I'm
this
excited
far,
to talk about the next one.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to say.
This one into this one.
We appreciate everyone for sticking with us this far and kind of, I suppose, stay with us for this little mini series we're going to do. We're going to cover the sequel to this and then hopefully talk about the video games as well.
I'd like to talk about the games and even ones that I didn't really play and maybe hear more about them and stuff like that. Because like it makes me want to go back and see if I can like buy them for cheap or what I mean.
I think you can. I think they're quite cheap. Yeah, a lot of them are really cheap.
Because I would go back and play some of the more recent ones that are still older. I couldn't go back and play like 2. I'm playing right now, the remaster one, but I couldn't go back and play like number 3 from what it looked like.
Painful.
Yeah, it would be.
I wonder, will they just remake them all?
Well, games like that, I'm like, put on a mobile phone app where I can like pay $5 and play it on my phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you're going to do something like unless you're going to give it the full remake.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was fun.
Thank you guys for listening, watching.
Yeah, and sticking with us. Let us know your thoughts on this movie or your favorite Silent Hill game. So I put up a thing on Instagram and I was surprised by the amount of different answers I got. A lot of people were like, oh, my favorite Silent Hill is part 3. I have such nostalgia for part 4. I know it's not the best one in the series, but it was the first one I ever played, and I have this special. My dad bought it for me, and I remember that day and all this shit, and it was cool hearing some of those stories.
And then he left and got cigarettes, and he never came back.
Yeah, he went out for milk, and he never came back. But yeah, that's something we'll probably do more of as well. I'm going to try and bring in like some audience questions for us, and like maybe get so it can spark other conversations between the two of us.
Yeah. 100%. That'll be exciting, and we'll try to have to maybe figure out how to make more of a plan to go like live sometimes and stuff. We'll figure it out, but there's definitely stuff we can tweak and get better at for the show, and try to include more of like the fan base and stuff like that. I know a lot of people listen on audio, but it'd be cool to do a little live special once in a while and stuff. So definitely like support the show. It means more than you think,
It does, and we need it. We need it more than ever. And so all the links to everything will be down below in the description wherever you're listening or watching this, or if not, just follow us at ClassHorrorCast on Instagram and
stay classy, Silent Hill.
Goodbye, everyone.